Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are making bagel. I like bagel, but we're making it with a little twist. So to start with, we are going to bloom the yeast. So here are the ingredients. We have 360 ml of buttermilk. We will pour the 360 ml of buttermilk in here. Is already warmed up to about 110 to 115 degrees. This is just so that the yeast can be activated. Then we are going to add 2 tablespoonfuls of agave syrup. We need something for the yeast to eat. I added about 3 tablespoons. And now we are going to add the yeast. And we mix it well. I added 2¼ teaspoon of active yeast. And then we're going to cover it. And I'm making this in the stand mixer bowl. I'm going to just cover it for a few minutes to allow the yeast to bloom. Set this aside. In the meantime, we have 4½ cup of bread flour, 1/4 teaspoon of Himalayan salt, and I add 2/3 cup of powdered milk. This just gives it a different texture and it balances it out. The yeast generally blooms within 3 to 5 minutes. Sometimes it can bloom quicker. If your yeast does not bloom, it is best to just pour that out and start with a different yeast, because it may be that your yeast is no longer active or is too old. So it is always good to make sure to do this so that you know that your yeast is active. Let's talk about the bread flour. Bread flour has about 13 to 14% of gluten. And so it is high in gluten compared to cake and all-purpose flour. And so this makes it a little bit more chewier. It gives it a little bit more gluten. It gives it that stretchiness. That is why I like to use bread flour. You can use any flour of your choice. You can use wholemeal flour, which generally has about 12 to 13% of gluten. And so it comes close enough. After about a few minutes, you can see how fluffy the yeast mixture is. In this, you have the foam on top of it. So that means that the yeast is active. You can see all the bubbles. So now we'll start to add the rest of the ingredients. No real order. So I add the flour, then I add the milk, the powdered milk, and the salt. Normally, I just try to incorporate them before using the stand mixer, just to give it a head start. Now I'm going to take out the dough hook, place this in, make sure it's secure, then attach the dough hook back, secure it, and now we start it at a very low speed. We want this to knead until the gluten has developed well enough. So you're gonna be kneading this for, for some time, roughly about 8 to 10 minutes. So here we'll go back again. So now we are checking the dough. Oh my God, it looks really good. You want to stretch it and make sure that it does not break. This is still breaking a little bit. So we are going to let it knead a little bit longer. All right, this smells so good. So now what we're going to do, look at that. This feels so good. Smells so good. Smells great. You can see this is completely clean. So what we're going to do now is to proof this for about an hour. We are going to put some olive oil spray in here just to coat it with oil. And we're going to put it back in. I'm going to proof it and cover it and leave it for about an hour. Now, this depends on the temperature of your kitchen. If your kitchen is not warm enough, it should be around 70 to 75 degrees. If it is not warm enough, you could actually put it in the oven and turn your light on I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada. My kitchen is about 75 degrees, so I'm going to keep it here covered for in about 1 hour. Humidity also plays a part in proofing your dough, whether you're making bread, making bagel, or making any dough, donut, all of that. Humidity plays a part as well as temperature. In the meantime, while the dough is proofing, we are going to make our cream cheese. So this is 500 ml of whole milk, pasteurized. You do not want ultra pasteurized, and you do not want skim milk. You want full cream milk. And we're going to put it on the stove till it gets to about 90 degrees. Then we're going to use fresh lemon juice that we squeeze fresh. We are going to keep checking the temperature and stirring to ensure that it doesn't get scalded at the bottom. Once it reaches between 90 degrees and 100 degrees, we are going to add 1 tablespoon of lemon juice at a time. Stirring. Gradually till we have some curds form. You can see that the curds are forming. Keep going till we get thick curds. I'm gonna add some more and look at those curds form. And you just keep it on the stove top. Look at that. Beautiful ricotta cheese. And we just cook it till the curds separate from the whey. Perfect. Look at that. At this point, what we want to do is to take it off the heat and let it sit for a little bit before we strain it in a cheesecloth. Look at those beautiful curds. Next, we're just going to strain it. We put a cheesecloth over. And all of this, just making cheese with 2 ingredients only. And we just let it sit till the water stops dripping. And then we'll get back to this. So here we have the cheese. You don't want it to be too dry, so I'll put it in the mixer here. If you feel like it's a little too wet, I'll put a tablespoon of almond flour, tablespoon of agave, just for sweetness. I make it 2, and some almond extract. Cover it and powder it. And here we are, almond cream cheese that we're going to use for the bagel. I'm just gonna taste it. Amazing. So I'm just going to put it in the refrigerator until our bagel is ready. After 1 hour, our dough have doubled in size. And look at that. And we are just going to grease our counter olive oil. Then we're going to punch the gas out of the dough. Feels really, really good. This is a crucial step. Be sure to punch out all the air bubbles. And then we are going to divide our dough into 8 equal parts. You can divide it into more depending on the size of the bagel that you want. And at this point, this is when we start shaping it. And then make them into round balls. We also place some parchment paper and then grease it. You can also use butter if you prefer. This is where we're going to stage them. I think some of these are going to be bigger than others. I may get 10. I feel like they are too big. Trying to smoothen it out as much as possible. we start to shape it by stretching it. We want to make sure that it is at least 2 inches wide. The reason for that is when we leave it to proof, the hole is going to get small. It is important to get it bigger. Now we'll place it here. All right, so we are going to cover for about 45 minutes. In the meantime, we are going to put the water on the stove top and bring it to a boil. The water is simmering, so we are going to add 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, which would be great because this will give us that extra help with the chewiness and the softness of the bagel. So we're gonna add that, and then we're going to add 3 tablespoons of maple syrup for taste. We're going to stir it in. Our bagels have risen, and look at that. Look at those 2-inch holes have now narrowed. Yes, they still don't look like bagel, but what we're going to do is we are going to cook them on each side for about 1 to 2 minutes. And so okay, and we'll just add them. In the meantime, we'll set the oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Let it bubble. We'll flip it. You can't really leave this and go away, so you gotta watch it. As soon as we cook it, we have to get them in the oven. Now we're gonna take it out, place it back in the baking sheet while we place the other ones. And then we add everything bagel. Smells so good. And you can add any seasoning of your choice at this point. So we are done with the boiling part. So here are the bagels, all boiled and seasoned with everything bagel. They smell so good. So now we are going to put them in the oven at 425 degrees Fahrenheit. And we are going to bake them for about 15 minutes. Timer has gone off, and let's see what we've got. Wow, this smells so good. And look at that. This smells so great. Now, the moment we've been waiting for, the taste test. And we are using the almond cream cheese that we made. And you can make your cream cheese with any flavor that you want. This is so soft. This tastes so good. It is so soft. It is very chewy. It has great flavor. And the almond cream cheese just tops it over. The aroma, the taste, the moisture, the chewiness is amazing. Can't get any better bagel. There is absolutely no reason why you cannot make your own bagel at home. You can add any flavor to it. You can make it however way you want. But this is so good. Just look at that softness. Look at that. Perfect. If this video has been of value to you, please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification button. This is Dr. Okeke. Thank you. Now I'm going to go finish my bagel. It's just warms your body. Bye.